now, okay. Now I just need to figure out, what do I name this thing? For a while, I've just called it the level, but now I actually need to make a proper name for this. Problem is, like, what name am I supposed to... No, I think Side B is a tougher name. Okay, Side B. So, I'll go ahead and rate this 7 star. But, yeah, 7 stars. What? Brother. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a commentary of this level because I don't feel like making the video. Just the level showcase. So this first part basically came to me on a whim. I was just like randomly building and I saw levels like a Death Moon and all that, and I was like, okay, that looks really cool. I think I should make a level like that. Oh yeah, you can also notice the 3D structures here, and then I just stopped because they were too hard. I didn't feel like continuing them. Then you have this ship part here. Now this ship part, I was inspired by a Dorabay Basic level. I think it was Dorabay Basic 11, where it had like this effect. It had this effect where the player, like, the color follows the player. I don't really know exactly how to describe it, but yeah, it had that effect. And this part was probably the first part that I had no idea what I was doing, and it's also probably the worst part of the level, if I'm gonna be honest, because this design on its own, it looks fine, but then it's like these things are flashing. I do like how I used like somewhat slow pulses over here and then very fast pulses in the thingies inside. I think that was kind of cool. Oh yeah, there's also this thing. I just decided this wasn't like an idea that I had from the beginning. I was just kind of bored, so I decided to see what happened if I made like a duel for a second and then exited out, which apparently pans the camera up, so that's cool. And into this wave part. This wave part is actually pretty satisfying to play in my opinion. It's pretty fun, and I like the ideas and concepts I threw around with it. There's also, let me show you, there's also this part which but yeah, there's also this part where it goes like where it goes slow speed. Now there are 2 routes you can take here. You can take the bottom route or the top route. Yeah, you can take the top route as well. And this top route, I actually saw it at first while trying to build this fake over here. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm keeping that in. Oh yeah, you'll also notice this thing. You may be confused. And this is actually a coin. And since this is a 1.9 level, bronze coins didn't exist. Or user coins just didn't exist in general. So I had to make a coin like this. And that's what many levels did back then. This wave section used to actually be way harder. But then I decided to nerf it because it was way too hard. I'm pretty sure. Wave, as you can see, this is like way tighter. There's, yeah, everything's just tighter and it's way less fun. The biggest change was definitely this spam. Anyways, let's go back to freaking thing. This part, by the way, yes, I know that this part isn't perfectly like synced. I noticed that, but I didn't feel like syncing it because I was afraid that this transition wouldn't work. Speaking of this part also came to me on a whim, but this part definitely turned out better. Oh yeah, with these shadow blocks, if I turn preview mode off, you can see that these like things with the shadow aren't actually glow blocks, they're actually these ground spikes. I was inspired by a lot of like old levels, like the 1.2 levels, like Heaven and Hell, to use these for like a shadow on the block because that was the only way you could use the shadow on the block. I know that this is a 1.9 level and I could have used glow, but I still felt like doing this because it was a nice, like, cool gimmick. This part I wanted to do like the same thing here, but now it's opposite. Instead of the object color being the one that's visible, now it's the color themselves, and the object colors shouldn't be visible. Oh yeah, also this coin route, I think this is kind of funny. You just go in a mini portal and do this incredibly tight straight fly and get out. I've done this before, this is possible, but yeah, I think it's just funny. And then you have this UFO section. This is literally the only time I actually use the UFO game mode because I hate the UFO game mode, and it's for this like 1 3-second section. Also, this like sort of effect where one piece of this weird structure reveals itself, and the other one, that also just came to me because I saw a lot of other 1.9 levels do that. And here, when I went to the 3x speed cube, I just didn't want to make gameplay for this. So instead, I made an auto part with this design, with the squiggly blocks, and like these blocks from the 1.4 update. Because I saw a lot of 1.6 levels doing it, and so I was like, okay, what if I did that but made it like my own style? This is also an auto duel, if you didn't recognize that. This is probably one of the worst designs in the level, but I just didn't know what to put here for like saws, so I decided to just put this. And for these like 4 portals, I was inspired by a Death Moon. That's what I was inspired by, like the very ending of Death Moon. And then, yeah, this part with the rainbows and the... Wow. This part I had envisioned since the very beginning. This was like gonna be the main thing of the level. I was inspired by this one like old 2-star, I think. I don't remember the name, but I'll probably show it to you in footage. This part right after with the mini cube and the Majako core designs. Jacko wishes he could be this good. But yeah, this part I was also just on a whim. I didn't really come up with this part before. And then you have this part where it's like, it syncs to the music. Let me show you that. Yeah, I just felt like doing that because, I don't know, none of the other like parts where did this sort of melody actually synced, so I just decided to do that. And then yeah, it goes from this weird sort of like core Majako and odd design style to like generic 1.9 level. When I was first designing this wave part, I didn't really know what to make here, so I decided to make a more generic 1.9 style. And there was this level I was playing at the time called Chaos Airflow, and I actually took some inspiration from Chaos Airflow in this design with like a lot of the stars and a lot of the clouds and other things that are in these spikes. So yeah, this part used to also be a little bit buffed. And then you have this GG, which goes into an X. I couldn't find a way to make it look any better without these black lines here. So yeah, this wasn't originally going to be the level's end. I had always planned it to use the full song, by the way. Now this part I was originally going to make look like I think there was this 1.9 level called, like, it was a G-Boy Christmas level or something like that. I was trying to do the effect that I'm hopefully showing on screen, but instead I did this accidental weird rainbow effect, and I liked it, so I just kept with it. Also, I decided to do duel here because I hadn't done an actual duel in the level yet, so I wanted to do it because, you know, I haven't actually done a duel yet in the level that isn't either auto or lasts less than 5 seconds. Now, this last part, I try to do like a little callback of all of the things in this level. Like you have the core design, you have these colors, you have this thing. These, I was inspired by the Lightning Road. I don't really know if they look that good, but this I came up with by myself because I tried to put air deco. And yeah, this part looks a little empty. I should probably update that, but oh yeah, this was the last design that I actually like accidentally came up with. Were the corner pieces of 3D blocks, and then you put them all together, you get an Xbox. You don't get an Xbox, but you get like a square with an X in the middle. And then you get this final part with some blending structures. And then, yeah, title card, and then ended log.